My father never talked much. He was a man who showed things instead of saying them. When I was 9 years old, he walked me into the garage, this massive, climate-controlled room that smelled like leather and motor oil, and he pointed at it. A Ferrari LaFerrari, Rosso Corsa, one of 499 ever made. He didn't say, "This will be yours one day." He just put his hand on my shoulder and we stood there together in silence, looking at it. That was his language. That was enough. For 20 years, that car was the third person in our relationship. Every Sunday morning, he'd take it out before Dubai got hot. I'd watch from the driveway as those butterfly doors opened, as the V12 fired up and filled the whole street with this sound. Not aggressive, not loud, just alive, like something breathing. He'd come back 2 hours later, park it perfectly, wipe down the mirrors himself. Never let anyone touch it, except me. When I was 16, he let me sit in the driver's seat for the first time. He stood outside, arms crossed, watching me through the windshield. He was smiling. I don't have many memories of him smiling, but I have that one. He died on a Tuesday. I was 28. He was 61. It was sudden. The kind of sudden that doesn't give you time to say the things you should have said years ago. The house filled with people I barely recognized. His second wife, her son, lawyers. The kind of people who appear around money like they were always there. 3 days after the funeral, we sat in a room and a man in a gray suit read the will. My father left me the Ferrari. He left me the garage, the watches, the letters, all the things that mattered. I sat there, and I felt something I hadn't felt since he died. I felt like he was still speaking to me. Then things moved quickly. His wife contested. Lawyers called lawyers. Documents were filed and refiled. 6 weeks later, I was told the will had been revised. The Ferrari, along with everything in that garage, had been transferred to her son's name. I didn't believe it at first. My father didn't revise that will. I knew it the same way I knew his handwriting, his voice, the way he stood. So I went looking. I found it in his study, behind a panel in the bookshelf, the kind of hiding spot a man uses when he doesn't trust the people around him anymore. The original will, dated 8 months before his death, notarized, witnessed, my name, the Ferrari, every detail. I sat on the floor of his study for a long time, holding those pages, and I made a decision, not to fight it in court, not to expose her publicly, not to take it back. The car my father gave me was supposed to carry something, the weight of all those Sunday mornings, all that silence, all that love without words. She turned it into an inheritance dispute. She turned it into paperwork. If it can't be what he meant it to be, it won't be anything. Not for her, not for her son, not for anyone. I waited until 3 a.m. I still had the spare key. He gave it to me years ago and never asked for it back. Maybe he knew. I drove the Ferrari out of their garage in silence, through empty Dubai streets, past towers of glass and light. I had a warehouse. I had tools. I had all night. I was wearing his watch. I still am. I kept one piece, the horse, the emblem from the hood. Not because it was worth anything, because it was the last thing on that car that still carried his name. I folded it into the will, his real will, the one he wrote when he still trusted the world around him, and I put both in my pocket. Everything else went into the truck. 4 wheels, 2 doors, 1 engine, every bolt, every panel, every piece of carbon fiber that had once been the most beautiful car I had ever seen. I drove across Dubai at 5 a.m. The city was empty. Nobody saw me leave. I backed the truck up to her garage, the same garage where the car was supposed to live, the same garage my father would have driven past and known that his son had what was his. I unloaded everything, not frantically, not in anger, piece by piece, slowly, like he used to clean it. When it was all there, the engine, the wheels, the seat, the doors, I climbed to the top, and I left 2 things. The will he actually wrote, and the key he gave me years ago and never asked for back. Then I got in the truck and I drove away. I didn't look back. The car is gone. The money is gone. The lawyers, the paperwork, the revised signatures, all of it means nothing now. He gave me one thing that nobody could contest, revise, or steal. I'm still wearing it.